was right after Christmas, cold wind blowing, and it was out on the island. And the wind was blowing off Long Island Sound. It was coming off in big chunks. You know how the wind can blow off Long Island Sound around about New Year's Day, just about Christmas. Oh, man, I'll tell you, the wind was howling. And we were all gathered, this little band of ribbon cutters. It sounds kind of silly. But I was invited for some strange reason, which really to this day does not make sense. Because I can't figure out why I was signaled out, why they pointed out me, singled out among all the people in New York. There were only a few of us. It was like about 25 people. And it was early in the morning. It was just after Christmas. Colder than it's right on the tip of my tongue. Something to do with a well digger. I'll think of it when I get off the air. It was colder than a well digger's what? What is that? Colder than a witch's... I'll remember this. I'll tell you this, though. There were about 15 brass monkeys running around that place talking in awful high voices. That's all I got to tell you. It was cold, man. The wind was screaming off the Long Island Sound, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, which is an ungodly hour. But I suppose if you're going to cut ribbons, 8 o'clock is as good a time as any. So we arrived, and you know what the ribbon was to be cut for? Try to think back now. 1964. What was it? Out on Long Island. It was in Flushing. It was the World's Fair. And it was the first official exhibit of the World's Fair. The World's Fair was going to open, you see, that spring. And it was the official first exhibit that was actually there and ready to be walked into and everything. And it was like a ceremonial cutting of the ribbon. And there I was, along with other notables. And we're all dressed up and wearing sheepskin coats and everything. The wind is blowing. And they had an actual ribbon. It was a real ribbon. When you go to a ribbon cutting, they have a ribbon. It was a very wide ribbon. It was about, 3 inches or 4 inches wide. And it was in the official New York state colors. You know what those colors are? Well, you see it on the Mets, all the time. It's a New York City colors. Blue and orange. Yeah, that's right. Blue and orange. And here was this ribbon. It was a two-tone ribbon, blue and orange, and it was a wide one. It was about 3 or 4 inches wide, and it was right across the entranceway, the ramp leading up into this exhibit. And there was a platform, and they actually had a band out there. And this poor guy, one guy was blowing a saxophone, another guy was blowing a trombone, and they were dressed in some kind of a strange-looking band uniform. And somebody gave a speech, and he got up on the platform, and I was sitting right next to him, and he was the official ribbon cutter, and who was the big top dog, the official sultan in charge of the World's Fair? That is correct. Robert Moses himself. And there's Moses, and he's got a sardonic sense of humor. And he's got a hat on, and his face was craggy. He looks really craggy. The wind is blowing over his eyebrows, and he's got this big black coat, and he's sitting next to me. How I got next to him, really I was sitting next to a living monument. Robert Moses. We all know, Moses is a gigantic name. Some things are bigger than all of us. Moses was one of them. Some things are so big you can't comprehend them. Which reminds me, this is WOR, New York, and there are mysterious things that go on in this world. They're totally mysterious. That it's best not to even explain them. And that's what this ribbon cutting was. So I took the chance, just to come out to cut the ribbon, and I arrived at about 7:30 in the morning. You had to get there very early. So the ribbon will be cut at 8 o'clock, after which there will be a reception. Well, now, the reception at 8:30 in the morning is a kind of a milky experience in itself. But, oh, my God, was it cold. The wind was blowing. And Mr. Moses is sitting on this wooden bench. There was a little huddled band of pilgrims out there right on the shore. You know where that marina is down there? The marina, as you go past Flushing Meadows there, and the wind, and the band is playing suitable patriotic melodies, at which point at exactly 8 o'clock, and there was a guy from the Daily News was out there, and he had this camera, and I remember it was a kind of dramatic to me because the camera's shutter froze. He had this. He was trying to take pictures, and his camera wouldn't work. He said, "The camera, hold it, hold it." He kept running around, "Hold it, wait a minute," and he'd take his camera and he'd blow on it. And of course, that kind of bugged Moses. He wasn't going to wait for the guy's camera from the Daily News to unfreeze. So the wind is picking up, and there's little razor-like pieces of snow coming down. Somehow, I had the feeling right then, it was in the air, that the World's Fair, there was something wrong. I couldn't quite detect what it was. You didn't have the festive feeling that you should have had. And Moses got up, and he said, howling into the wind, and the PA system, they had this little $12 PA system with two tin little mushroom horns sitting on the edge of the platform, and one of these, these Japanese double-button carbon mics. We're getting all kinds of feedback. And this little tiny PA system. Great to speak the air, and to cut the ribbon for the first official exhibit, opened by the New York World's Fair. This World's Fair will become a historic landmark in the cultural life of New Yorkers. And in just a few months, millions of people will come from all over the world to enjoy the greatest World's Fair ever put together on the soil of the United States. And now I take great pleasure in officially cutting the ribbon, opening the first exhibit that will stand on the grounds of the New York World's Fair. At which point the band goes, da, 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 and the band is playing away, and he walks up to the ribbon. We're all standing there, and the guy's got the cameras, and suddenly Moses says, well, how am I supposed to cut it? 3 or 4 guys start running around. They had forgotten to bring anything to cut the ribbon with. There is no scissors. So a couple of guys plucked at it and tried to rip it. No way. This ribbon was, how silk ribbon is really tough, man. It was nylon or something, and it was purple and orange, blue and orange. You weren't going to cut that ribbon with your fingernail. So Moses turns around, and right away the real Moses starts coming out. So he says, well, how am I supposed to cut this stupid ribbon? So, well, get some. Hurry up! Let's get something going here. And the band is going. And apparently, it's the official World's Fair song, which was being debuted at this auspicious moment. So we milled around a little bit, and the trombone man is blowing his horn. You can see the valve has got a little thin crust of ice on it. He can hardly move it back and forth. And the water is looking gray and creepy right next to us there. And finally, somebody came running out. He went out to his car, and he got this old rusty pair of scissors, which he had in a tire repair kit, Bill, in his car, and brought it out. And Moses says, about time. And he takes this ribbon-cutting scissors, and he's going, it's dull, it's been used for cutting inner tubes and stuff. And he goes, he starts to cut the ribbon. Finally, he says, oh, this is stupid. And he grabs it now. He's got it about half cut. He just grabs it and he rips it. It goes like that. The ribbons both fly open. Now, we're supposed to go up this platform. Well, in the meantime, apparently since they put the platform up the night before, this ramp that went up to the official exhibit, it is now covered with a very thick coating of absolutely, totally deadly, treacherous ice. And it's going up at an angle. It's a wooden ramp. So about 3 guys and Mr. Moses start proceeding up this ramp, and now that you can see their wheels are skidding, he's skidding around. He's grabbing a hold of the rope, and we finally get up to the top of this ramp. All of us proceeding up. When out of the back of this thing, out of the back of the exhibit, comes a guy, and he comes running out, and he's got a workman's coat on. He says, "Wait, we're not ready. Wait a minute." Hold it. We don't have the fuses in yet. Wait, hold. The thing was not hooked up or wired up yet. So at which point, Mr. Moses says, well, okay, that's all right. That's fine. That's all right. Okay. All you guys got your pictures? Everything okay? You got your pictures? And 3 or more, maybe 5 more photographers go, wait, hold it, one more. Pop, pop, pop goes the bulb. And we all slowly file back down the ramp, holding on to the ropes because nobody wants to get lost in the bay. We struggle on down to the platform and quietly disappeared. Nobody went to the reception. I don't even know what, it was supposed to be a reception for this thing. That's the last I ever heard of it. What was the exhibit? What was the exhibit? Now, why do I remember this kind of stuff? Now, that was a great ribbon cutting experience. And the only time I've been present at an actual ribbon cutting was a total fiasco. Now, all right, I'll tell you what the exhibit was. You remember, did you go to the fair at all? You did, Jerry? Do you remember they had on the fairgrounds the ship that was used in the making of a monumental movie, Turkey, by the way? It was Marlon Brando's version of Mutiny on the Bounty. You remember the movie? Well, did you know that they had on the fairgrounds the actual ship? They had somehow managed to get it over there. They apparently brought it down through the canal or something. I don't know how they got it, but there it was. It was the Mutiny on the Bounty ship. And that was the first official exhibit that was opened at the fair. And symbolically enough, it was pretty symbolic. Not only could they not get the ribbon cut, but the movie was a fantastic turkey. I mean, if you saw the movie. Well,